Greetings, sea captains! You're watching Classic Crafts, the video series where we pick out the cream of the crafting crop and explore the ins and outs of shipbuilding in Sea of Craft. In today's episode, we'll be opening up the Torpedo launcher by Biu Xiaoxiao, one of the most inventive and complex ships on offer in the Ship Expo. This ship features a wide range of custom mechanical doodads centered around the titular torpedo nestled inside the hull. These doodads are enormous fun to build and master. The torpedo launcher offers us valuable lessons in building and piloting, which takes a fair bit of practice thanks to the daunting range of keys it puts to use. We're starting with the torpedo because, as with the Red Baron, we have a scale factor to consider. When building a complex mechanical component, it helps to have no limits on the building area so we can fit as many features inside as we want. Once we're totally happy with the torpedo, we can start thinking about the surrounding hull. This principle of scale applies to all ships, and especially those with complex mechanical components or other features whose final scale is difficult to predict. The torpedo is fixed to the hull by two separate configurations. The first is a splitter located underneath the torpedo. The second is an arrangement of pulleys and splitters, which allow the user to tilt the torpedo upwards prior to triggering its final release. The pulleys in this second arrangement are given the same key command as the splitter underneath the torpedo. A separate key command is given to the splitters attaching the pulleys to the torpedo. This is the final release key, and it's the same command as drives the torpedo forward. The torpedo is piloted using propellers combined with T-shaped pivots 90 degrees. Set the key bindings to the arrow keys to allow separate movement from the hull. The torpedo is armed with two weapons configurations. The first is spearhead launchers, achieved by building spearheads onto splitters built to the main body of the torpedo. Set a unique custom key command for these splitters and turn the force up to maximum. The second weapon configuration is a customized Harpoon component. This Harpoon allows the torpedo to latch onto a target from a distance and reel itself closer into melee range. Build a splitter and a wooden block to the body of the torpedo, allowing space on either side of the splitter. Apply a unique custom key command to this splitter and turn the force up to maximum. Next, build pulleys with one side attached to the wooden block and the other side attached to the body of the torpedo next to the splitters. Set unique custom key commands for the slackening and tautening of these pulleys. Finally, build a hook to the front of the wooden block. To operate the Harpoon, first slacken the pulleys as far as possible. Then trigger the splitter to launch the Harpoon head forward. Use the pulleys tauten command to reel it in again. That covers all the basic functions of this awesome torpedo component. Now we have to build a sturdy hull around the outside to keep our lethal weapons under wraps. There are just a few points to consider when building the hull of your torpedo launcher. First, it should leave plenty of room around the torpedo to make piloting the torpedo easier. Second, it should have vertically aligned propellers with custom key commands to help the ship sink and surface. This will allow you to release the torpedo underwater and will make the hatch mechanism more effective. Third, we need to build a hatch mechanism to conceal the torpedo from above when closed and allow the torpedo to escape when it opens. Build passive T-shaped pivots to the top of the hull, followed by hatch pieces on top. Next, build pulleys connecting the top of the hatch to the sides of the hull. You can set the slack and tauten key bindings for these pulleys to the same keys as those commanding the pulleys inside the hull. Alternatively, you can set unique custom key commands. Set the tension of these pulleys to maximum and reduce the slackening tautening speed to make the hatch easier to control. There are a couple of custom weapons attached to the front of the hull, giving the ship some armament of its own. These weapons follow the same principles as those attached to the torpedo. Just make sure to assign unique custom key commands for these weapons. They must function separately from the torpedo. And that concludes our whistle-stop tour of the torpedo launcher. Hopefully you'll come away with plenty of ideas for your own shipbuilding endeavours. Once you've got your head around the dizzying array of key commands you've created, you'll find yourself with a truly first-class ship that is a great pleasure to command and conquer with. Thanks a lot everyone, see you next time.